The history and cultural significance of the new moon. The history. The new moon, the phase of the moon when it is not visible from Earth because it is positioned between the Earth and the Sun, has held deep historical, cultural, and spiritual significance across civilizations throughout time. Many ancient cultures viewed it as a time of renewal, transformation, and new beginnings, and it often played a central role in religious observances, agricultural cycles, and timekeeping systems. Here's a breakdown of its history and cultural significance. Early astronomical understanding. Early observations. Ancient humans closely observed the lunar phases, noting the cycle from the new moon or invisible to the full moon and back to the new moon again. The complete cycle lasting 29.5 days became the basis for many early calendars. Astronomical definition. The new moon occurs when the moon is directly between the Earth and the Sun, and its illuminated side faces away from the Earth. The moon and early calendars. The new moon has been integral in the development of lunar calendars, which have been used by numerous ancient cultures. Babylonian civilization in Mesopotamia. The Babylonians were among the first to formalize a lunar calendar. They used the new moon to mark the beginning of the month, a tradition that influenced many later cultures. The Egyptians also observed the moon's cycles, but their primary calendar was based on the sun and the star Sirius. However, the new moon was used for ceremonial purposes, particularly for agricultural and religious festivals. Greeks. The Greeks, influenced by Babylonian astronomy, saw the new moon as a time of rebirth. Their goddess of the moon, Selene, and later Artemis, was honored during various lunar phases. Chinese lunar calendar. The traditional Chinese calendar is lunisolar, meaning it combines both the cycles of the moon and the sun. The new moon marks the beginning of each lunar month, and festivals like Chinese New Year are timed around this phase. New moon in religious traditions. The new moon holds important religious meaning in various traditions. The new moon, called Rosh Hodesh, marks the beginning of a new month in the Hebrew calendar. It is considered a minor festival during which special prayers and blessings are recited. The observance of the new moon was essential for tracking the dates of major Jewish holidays, such as Passover and Yom Kippur. The Islamic calendar is strictly lunar, with each month beginning at the sighting of the new moon. Important events like Ramadan is the month of fasting, and Eid Fitr are determined by the sighting of the crescent moon after the new moon phase. In Hindu culture, the new moon, called Amavasya, is considered a significant time for spiritual reflection, rituals, and honoring ancestors. It is associated with both auspicious and inauspicious events, depending on the context. For example, Diwali, the festival of lights, occurs on the night of the new moon. Christianity. Early Christians often aligned certain feasts and holidays with the lunar calendar. The calculation of Easter involves both the moon and the spring equinox. Agricultural and seasonal importance. Ancient farming societies. The new moon often marked the beginning of planting cycles in many early agricultural societies. The absence of moonlight was seen as a symbolic representation of new growth and the planting of seeds. Fishermen and oceanic cultures. Coastal communities in ancient times noticed that tidal patterns were influenced by the moon's phases. The new moon, like the full moon, causes spring tides, which were factored into fishing schedules and maritime activities. New moon in astrology and spiritual practices. Astrological significance. In astrology, the new moon is considered a time for new beginnings, setting intentions and reflecting on personal growth. It symbolizes a fresh start where individuals are encouraged to plant metaphorical seeds for the future. Wicca and pagan traditions. The new moon is considered a powerful phase in witchcraft and Wiccan rituals. It is associated with introspection, shadow work, and spell casting that focuses on growth, manifestation, and healing. Many pagans perform rituals during the new moon to set intentions for the upcoming lunar cycle. New moon folklore and superstitions. The new moon has inspired numerous myths and superstitions throughout history. Celtic traditions. The ancient Celts believed the new moon had magical properties. It was seen as a time to cleanse the spirit and begin new endeavors. Some African cultures believed that negative spirits were active during the new moon, prompting rituals to protect their communities. Folklore. In some parts of Europe, it was believed that wishing on the new moon could bring good fortune. Conversely, others believed that starting a journey during the new moon could lead to misfortune. Scientific interest in the new moon. The new moon plays a role in solar eclipses. A solar eclipse can only occur during a new moon, when the moon passes directly between the Earth and the Sun, temporarily blocking sunlight. Ancient cultures often associated solar eclipses with omens, warnings, or divine events. Modern interpretations and practices. Today, the new moon continues to be significant in both scientific and spiritual contexts. Lunar calendars are still used in many cultures for religious and agricultural purposes. Spiritual practitioners and modern astrologers promote the new moon as a time for journaling, goal setting, and meditation. Cultural festivals like Diwali, Chinese New Year, and Ramadan continue to rely on the new moon for their timing. My conclusion, a timeless symbol of renewal. The new moon has transcended time as a symbol of rebirth, new beginnings, and transformation. Whether through ancient religious rituals, lunar calendars, or modern-day spiritual practices, it continues to hold profound meaning in human culture. The cycles of the moon remind humanity of the continuous nature of time and the potential for renewal in every phase of life. Cultural foods and traditions for the new moon. The new moon itself doesn't have universal or standard dishes associated with it globally, but many cultures and religious traditions observe the occasion with specific foods tied to new beginnings, rituals, and fasting practices. These dishes often reflect the symbolic meaning of the new moon: cleansing, renewal, and spiritual growth. Here are some examples of dishes traditionally eaten during new moon celebrations in various cultures. Hindu culture, Amavasya means the new moon. Dish focus, fasting or sattvic meals like light and pure foods. Common dishes. Kheer is a rice or milk pudding, a sweet dish made of rice, milk, and sugar, often prepared during religious observances. Khichdi is a rice and lentil dish, simple, easily digestible, and commonly eaten on new moon fasting days. Seasonal fruits and yogurt. Many devotees consume fruits, yogurt, and milk as part of their light meals. Foods made with sabudana or tapioca, kutu or buckwheat, or singhara or water chestnut flour for those fasting. On some new moons, particularly during Pitru Paksha, is a time to honor ancestors. People prepare feasts of vegetarian food like rice, dal, or lentils, vegetables, and sweets to offer to their ancestors. Chinese culture, new moon and Lunar New Year. Focus, symbolic foods for luck, renewal, and prosperity. Dumplings or jiaozi, symbolizing wealth and new beginnings. Dumplings are often eaten during new moon festivals. Or sticky rice cake, a traditional sweet dish thought to bring good fortune. Whole fish represents abundance and prosperity for the new cycle. Eaten for long life and health. During the new moon of the Chinese Lunar New Year, families come together to share a feast of symbolic dishes. Jewish culture, Rosh Chodesh, or the new moon celebration. Light celebratory meals. Special braided bread symbolizing prosperity and continuity. Honey cake or desserts, to welcome sweetness and blessings in the coming month. Fish dishes, seen as a sign of abundance and fertility. Seasonal vegetables and stews. Simple yet hearty meals are common during the new moon celebrations. Rosh Chodesh is observed differently across regions, but special meals often feature symbolic foods reflecting renewal. Islamic culture, new moon and Ramadan or Ramadan Eid. The new moon is significant for marking the beginning and end of Ramadan. Foods eaten during this period vary across regions, but often include dish focus, fasting and post-fast meals. Dates, traditionally eaten to break the fast. Lentil soup, light and nourishing, this dish is commonly served to break fasts. Rice dishes like biryani or pilaf, aromatic rice dishes with spices and meat are often served after fasting. Sweets like baklava or sheer kurma, desserts symbolize joy and celebration after fasting. Pagan and Wiccan traditions, new moon ritual feasts. Dish focus, cleansing, grounding, and natural foods. Common dishes. Herbal teas, often prepared with cleansing herbs like mint or chamomile to aid reflection and spiritual renewal. Seasonal vegetables, root vegetables, grains, and fruits represent grounding energy. Nuts and seeds, symbolizing growth and new beginnings. Moon cakes or crescent-shaped pastries. In some modern Wiccan celebrations, crescent-shaped foods symbolize the moon's phases. African tribes' new moon feasts. Focus, feasting on communal foods. Common dishes. Millet or sorghum porridge, common in new moon rituals in African agricultural communities. Roasted meat or fish, a symbol of abundance often shared during community feasts. Fresh fruits, particularly tropical fruits like bananas, coconuts, and mangoes. Palm wine. In some African cultures, palm wine is served during new moon celebrations. Native American traditions. Dish focus, corn, beans, and squash are the three sisters crops. Cornbread or cornmeal dishes. Corn is a staple crop tied to fertility and renewal. A hearty meal symbolizing nourishment and grounding. Wild rice and berries, reflecting harmony with nature. These are eaten during spiritual ceremonies. Western new moon spiritual practices. Dish focus, cleansing and nourishing foods for intention setting. Common dishes. Detoxifying green smoothies or salads made with leafy greens like spinach or kale. Quinoa or grain bowls. Whole grains are believed to support grounding energy. Herbal infusions, chamomile, lavender, or mint tea to enhance meditation. Dark chocolate, often included as a symbol of indulgence and balance. Key themes across cultures. Cleansing foods. Many traditions focus on purifying the body through light, simple meals or fasting. Symbolic foods. Foods representing abundance, prosperity, fertility, and new beginnings are central to new moon celebrations. Community and sharing. Feasting with family or the community is common in many cultures. My conclusion. The new moon isn't associated with one single dish, but rather regional and spiritual foods that align with the symbolic meaning of the lunar phase, renewal, growth, and transformation. Spiritual and cultural practices during the new moon. The new moon holds special spiritual, cultural, and religious significance in many traditions, and the rules and actions followed during this time often involve rituals of reflection, renewal, and new beginnings. While practices vary across cultures, here are some general guidelines and actions commonly observed during the new moon. General spiritual and cultural actions during the new moon. Set intentions or goals. The new moon is often seen as a time for planting seeds for future growth, both metaphorically and spiritually. What to do? Write down your goals or intentions for the coming month. Meditate on what you want to achieve or manifest. Perform a new moon manifestation ritual, which may involve visualizing or speaking your desires out loud. Cleanse your space. Cleansing your physical environment is believed to remove negative energy and create a fresh start. What to do? Clean and declutter your home. Use sage, incense, or other cleansing tools to smudge and purify your space. Place crystals under the new moon to cleanse and recharge them. Engage in meditation and reflection. The darkness of the new moon represents stillness, introspection, and new beginnings. It is an ideal time for self-reflection and identifying areas for growth. What to do? Meditate in silence to connect with your inner self. Reflect on past actions, letting go of any guilt, fear, or negativity. Practice mindfulness by focusing on your breathing or observing nature. Perform ritual baths. Ritual baths are common in many spiritual practices to symbolize cleansing and renewal. What to do? take a bath with salts, essential oils such as lavender or rosemary, or herbs to cleanse the body and spirit. As you soak, visualize washing away negativity and preparing yourself for a new cycle. Specific religious and cultural practices. This is Amavasya, meaning new moon. Amavasya, or the new moon in the Hindu calendar, is considered an important day for spiritual reflection, fasting, and honoring ancestors, or Pitrupaksha. Rules and actions. Fasting or vrata, many devotees observe partial or full-day fasts. Tarpan or ancestor rituals offer food, water, and prayers to ancestors. Visit temples. Devotees often visit temples to offer prayers to Lord Shiva or other deities. Avoid starting major projects. Traditionally, some believe the new moon is not an ideal day for major new beginnings, but instead for spiritual introspection. Judaism, Rosh Chodesh, is the new moon celebration. Rosh Chodesh, meaning head of the month, marks the beginning of each new month in the Jewish calendar and is celebrated with special prayers and light meals. Rules and actions. Special prayers. Women often gather for prayer groups or recite Hallel is a prayer of praise. Avoid physical labor. In some communities, women refrain from heavy work during Rosh Chodesh as a symbolic rest day. Giving to charity is seen as an act of renewal and blessing. Islam new moon and Ramadan or Ramadan Eid. The sighting of the new moon marks the beginning and end of Ramadan and determines key dates in the Islamic calendar. Rules and actions. Observe the crescent moon. Traditionally, the sighting of the crescent moon is followed by community prayers. Recitation of prayers. The new moon is marked by dua, meaning supplications and gratitude. Fasting and feasting. Fasting during Ramadan begins at the new moon, and it is a time of spiritual cleansing. Pagan and Wiccan practices, new moon rituals. The new moon is significant in pagan and Wiccan traditions, representing new beginnings, manifestation, and spiritual work. Rules and actions. Casting spells. The new moon is a powerful time for setting intentions and casting spells related to growth, love, and transformation. Grounding and protection rituals. Many perform grounding rituals using crystals, candles, and herbs. Nature walks. Spending time in nature is encouraged to connect with Earth's energy and the moon's influence. Practice gratitude and letting go. The new moon is an opportunity to express gratitude for the past while letting go of negativity. What to do? Write down things you are grateful for and things you wish to release. Burn or bury the list of things you want to let go of as a symbolic act of release. Avoid certain actions via your cultural or religious beliefs. Some traditions have restrictions on activities during the new moon, viewing it as a time for quiet reflection rather than action. Avoid starting new ventures. While some view the new moon as a time for new beginnings, others believe it's better to plan during this phase and take action after the waxing crescent moon. Avoid travel or major decisions. Some cultures consider travel and important decisions to be inauspicious during the new moon. Limit interactions. Many spiritual practitioners recommend spending time alone or with close loved ones, focusing on internal work. Engage in grounding activities. Grounding activities help stabilize your energy and connect you to the present moment, which is important during the new moon. What to do? Practice yoga, especially poses focused on grounding such as the tree pose or the mountain pose. Walk barefoot on grass or soil to connect with nature. Create a grounding ritual using stones like hematite or black tourmaline. Give offerings or perform acts of kindness. Many cultures associate the new moon with prosperity and new blessings, so giving offerings or helping others is a common practice. What to do? Donate food, money, or time to charitable causes. Light a candle or incense as an offering to ancestors, deities, or the universe. Share a symbolic meal with family or friends to mark new beginnings. My final thoughts, symbolic nature of the new moon. The key themes of introspection, renewal, and intention setting dominate new moon observances. Whether through fasting, meditation, prayers, or ritual cleansings, the new moon represents a fresh start and an opportunity to plant the seeds for growth in the coming lunar cycle. The actions you take during this time can help you align with your goals and spiritual aspirations. Do you have a new moon ritual or tradition? Let us know in the comments below. Do you love learning about the history of food? Want to see more delicious deep dives into culinary culture? Then don't forget to subscribe to Knowledge Void and hit that notification bell so you never miss a bite. If you want to help support the channel and keep these mouth-watering videos coming, consider joining my Patreon. You'll get exclusive content, behind-the-scenes insights, and even more tasty history. Click the link in the description to become a patron today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next delicious episode.